I just heard my colleague, the previous majority, now minority leader, senior senator from New York, talk about a number of things. And it just reflected on the fact why he is now the minority leader instead of the majority leader. It's because of the elections in November. And it was an election that was won by Republicans because the previous administration had been the administration of high prices and open borders. So I'd like to address those two things today to see why and show why the American people made the right decision in November when they were focused on high prices and an open border. And all I need to do is turn to the headline this morning, and it talked about inflation cooled. Inflation is lower than expected for this past month. Washington Post headline, inflation cooled significantly in March. Axios headline, consumer prices fall in March. And then CNN this morning, they noted that consumer prices month over month dropped for the first time since COVID. Republicans have promised to get America back on track. And then when it comes to the border, Mr. President, remember the headline from the past? Migrant crossings soar to near record high levels. That was CBS News, September 21st, 2024, about 6 weeks prior to the election. Record high border crossings were a reality in Joe Biden's final months in the White House. Biden then had about 7,000 illegal immigrants flooding across the southern border each and every day. 7,000 a day. From San Diego, California, all the way to my home state, Sheridan, Wyoming, every city in America was a border state. Communities were overrun and overwhelmed. So let's fast forward to today, where we see the inflation numbers looking good, down, improved, first time since COVID. Let's take a look at the border today. With President Trump in charge, things have changed dramatically. Last month, the entire month, illegal border crossings dropped to 7,000. 7,000 for the month. That is the lowest monthly total in decades. So we went from 7,000 illegal immigrants a day under Joe Biden to 7,000 illegal immigrants for the entire month of March. Hey, this turnaround isn't luck, it's leadership, and there's a big difference. Joe Biden recklessly dismantled our border security. In his first 100 days in office, he signed 94 executive actions that threw open our borders. President Trump has restored decisive enforcement in his first 100 days. Illegal border crossings have dropped 97%, 94%, dramatically. The New York Post hailed this as a stunning new low in border crossings. ABC News said that southwest border crossings for March, lowest in history. Washington Post wondered, whatever happened to the border crisis? Well, let me tell you what happened. This is what happens when a president stops coddling the criminals. This is what happens when a president starts enforcing the law. The contrast is undeniable. The previous administration surrendered. The current administration delivered what the American people wanted. Cartel killers, drug dealers, murderers, rapists are getting hauled in and thrown out by the thousands. Immigration and Customs Enforcement reports that there have been over 100,000 deportations in 80 days. That's about progress. That's promises kept. Yet the fight is just beginning. Last week, a college student was killed by an illegal immigrant in a hit and run. The student's name's Nate Baker. Nate attended the University of South Carolina. He had just turned 21 years old 2 weeks before. This is a death that was preventable. His killer has been identified and was identified by Immigration and Customs Enforcement over the last 5 years. His killer is one of more than 600,000 illegal immigrant criminals still in our country. These are the very illegal immigrants that President Trump and his team are deporting. Deaths like Nate's and deaths like the drug overdoses, look, the families who've lost loved ones. There are real human costs to American citizens as a result of open borders. Open borders aren't compassionate, as Democrat after Democrat continues to claim, and Nancy Pelosi talked about it. They are catastrophic. Grieving families like Nate's, they deserve justice, not half measures. Public safety demands we deport illegal immigrant criminals, not coddle them. This is why Senate Republicans have taken action. On Saturday, we passed a budget roadmap for a safer, more prosperous nation. It includes $175 billion in border funding. It puts us on a path to finish the wall. It boosts the Border Patrol. It boosts Immigration and Customs Enforcement staffing. It provides for much greater detention capacity for the lawbreakers. And remember, those are the lawbreakers that Joe Biden openly invited into our country. Now, President Trump, his Secretary Kristi Noem, and Border Czar Tom Homan, they say this budget is the muscle that they need to be able to complete the job. I agree with them. They're right, and that's what we're ready to deliver. Now, when it came to the vote on the Senate floor, this very floor, Senate Democrats voted unanimously against border security. One after another, and their names were called, voted no. They weren't going to secure the border, weren't interested. Leave it wide open. Continue to invite the criminal cartels and the drug dealers. For 4 years, Senate Democrats welcomed open border policies that left our communities vulnerable, and the Democrats in this body last week still support those reckless, irresponsible policies of open borders. Republicans offered solutions, not the Democrats. They offered resistance to what we were doing to secure the border. Americans saw the difference last November, and they voted that way. They chose strength and security over crime and chaos. That's what the American people want: strength, security. They want safe communities. The numbers speak for themselves. 7,000 illegal immigrants per day under Joe Biden last year to 7,000 a month now. It's a consequential difference. It's a difference that will save American lives.